Welcome to TabTalks, where we are breaking free from the boxes that keep us from becoming our most authentic self. Hey, this is Tabitha Haynes, your host, and I'm here to encourage you to become all God has created you to be. Now let's go find you together. Hey guys, welcome to TabTalks number 4. We are so close to Christmas, and I'm so happy about it. I love Christmas. So in the middle of the holiday hustle, I have a story for you guys. So we recently just got Elf on the Shelf for my 5-year-old. Now, let me tell you that I was having this kind of spiritual debate within my own heart and my own mind. And my son had saw a couple videos on Elf on the Shelf, and he was trying to work it out in his head. Like, so you don't touch this thing. It has magic. It's going to tell Santa that you're naughty or something. He's telling me, I don't even know. I'm just hearing it from him. So I see him like working through this stuff. And then, I'm like, this season is obviously about Jesus, but obviously we have those traditions that we have too. Each person has, probably has their own traditions, each family. And so we were both working it out. He was working it out and I was working it out. He was trying to figure it out and I was trying to work out, like, is this even okay as a follower of Christ that I just get this little doll that's supposed to move in the middle of the night? I think I have some friends who would be like, no, we're going to kick that like demon out of here. And then I have some friends who are like, hey, they're like right now, they're probably figuring out what to do next with their little Elf on the Shelf. And so I was having this like pull. Well, I ended up just getting it. I was like, okay, because Gabriel was like, at first he was scared, but then he's like, Mama, I want it. And I was like, you know what? Fine. And so then I broke all the Elf on the Shelf rules because, you know what? I'm all about some freedom and making your own way. Like, I have a heart of a pioneer. So we got the Elf on the Shelf. I let him touch it. He sleeps with it. He actually makes it get into a little mischief. And then it's like, Mommy, look what he did, when I'm watching him put Elf on the Shelf in the sugar bowl and open the peanut butter jar. Like, I've seen him do it, but I'm like, whatever, this is kind of cute. And so we touch him, we hug him. He's cool. But I want to tell you guys this story because even in the midst of it, I think sometimes we can get so hyper spiritual. We forget that God is above our reasoning and our thinking. And I think at the end of the day, he really loves a pure, holy heart. And I think one way to have a really pure heart is to be very childlike. And I think as adults, we forget that, that it's easier to get in the kingdom of God as a childlike faith, right? So we got the Elf on the Shelf. He was waiting in the car. We went to another store because I was doing a little Christmas shopping. And we went in and I'm looking at the aisles, and for any of you who have a 4 or 5-year-old, or those of you who listen, you remember having one, they can be gone in like half of a second. So 1 second Gabriel was there. The next I hear him saying, hey, and I hear a few ladies say, hey, what are you doing? Gabriel had gone in the back of the store where it's like no people past this point, employees only. And he is telling them that he got Elf on the Shelf, and he is so excited. He got Elf on the Shelf. He's waiting in the car. He's really excited about this. And so I kind of went through the double doors. I'm like, hello. And the sweetest worker got on her knees, was looking Gabriel face to face. She had a little elf hat on, and she is just listening to Gabriel so sweetly tell her that he just got Elf on the Shelf. So she's like, oh yeah, he's magic. Well, Gabriel, Gabriel and I have had this conversation that the elf is not magic. And so he's like, no, the elf isn't magic. And she's like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, it's not. And so I didn't really exactly break the conversation down, like whatever. And so she said, hey, what is your name? And Gabriel looked at her, and he's still kind of learning how to say his name. So he's like, Gabriel Aiden Haynes. He's got like the second name, Gabriel. He's working on it, but he's doing good. He'll get it by the time I don't know, who knows how old. But she said, what? And I said, his name is Gabriel Aiden Haynes. And her little face turned so red. And she said, you do not know what that just did for me. She said, actually, we lost our son, and his name was Gabriel. And we just looked at each other, and she's like, you don't know what you did for me this week. Like, you just made my day. And so she was just looking at Gabriel smiling, and I'm about to cry. She's about to cry. And so we're like getting ready to, go back where the people belong. And I'm like, Gabriel, give her a hug. So he hugged his little friend, and he told her that he would see her later. And we walked out of there. And after walking out of there, I was so amazed by God. And I was so amazed at Gabriel. One, he was just sharing. He just wanted to share with anybody and everybody that he was happy. And this little guy, this little childlike little fella, just was not afraid or ashamed of something that made him happy. And God used him, that sweet childlikeness, to go where he needed him to go. He used Gabriel. He used the elf. He used it all to meet a woman in the back of a store, so that God could say, you know what? I love you. I am good. I see you. I know when your heart hurts, and I know when you miss that little boy that I have. And so I'm just going to give you, my friend would call it a little God wink. I'm going to wink at you from heaven. Gabriel's going to wink at you from heaven. And what an honor to watch my little boy get used like that. And so I kind of wrap it up with, in the middle of your holiday hustle, don't forget that in every day, the simple littlest things, God can move so powerfully. I know this time can be so stressful, just getting the gifts and making travel plans, and, sometimes money is tight, whatever is coming up. Just know that you are a child of God, that he sees you, that he's the greatest gift that we've ever received, but we're the greatest gift that he will receive. Like, he wants you, he loves you. And while we're on this earth, he's going to let us know it. And I know for that moment, she had peace on earth. Peace hit her heart. It hit her mind. And I know she felt loved in that moment. I know she felt cared for in that moment. And just looking at Gabriel and having that moment. And I pray that in the midst of the holiday hustle, that you just are covered with the love of Christ. That in the moments where you're not feeling so seen, or you're feeling stressed, or just, you have those hidden hurts and hidden thoughts, that he would meet you there, whether it be your child or the sunrise, whatever it is. Look for those moments. Wait for them and believe for them. I'm believing for those moments for you. And I'm believing that you get to be somebody else's moment, just like Gabriel, that God would use you. I pray that he would use me. And I definitely thank it for using our children, because they don't beg him to be used. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to let you be you, little guy. You share the good news. And he shared the good news. And guess what? Gabriel was an angel. He was a messenger. And my little boy, he was a little messenger that day, a message of love. And so I pray that this holiday season, that you find a message of love. Break out of just the holiday craziness and meet your God who loves you. And so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you next